I've had my iPad now for a couple of years, and I use it mostly without the need of a keyboard, but recently I've kind of discovered that there are certain times where I would like to be able to use a keyboard for certain functionality, but I didn't want to invest in the Magic Keyboard for that price, because although I understand and I've heard that it's a really, really great piece of equipment, piece of hardware, it wasn't something that I was going to use all that often. It was very occasional and very sporadic where I actually do typing on the iPad. So to that point, I wanted to find something that can upgrade my desktop typing experience, and something that I can also use for my iPad, which is right here. What I wanted to do was an unboxing video of the keyboard that I determined would work for my needs, something that I can use for my iPad as well as for my desktop, and be able to switch from one to the other sort of seamlessly. So I settled on the Logitech keyboard, and we're going to do an unboxing of it and a little overview of some of its incredible functionality. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a good day today. So this is Kevin Allen here, and I am going to be doing a unboxing video of the Logitech MX keys today. On the box here it says Advanced Wireless Illuminated Keyboard. I have the Logitech MX keys, which I like a lot, and I bought this keyboard for the same reason, that I can switch over from my desktop to my iPad really easily with the press of a button on the bottom here. So did some, review checks and all that good stuff of this one, and I said, you know what? I said, this is the one I think I need to go with. So without further ado, what I suspect that you guys are here for, and yes, this is a pen top that I'm using to open this because I don't feel like getting up and getting a scissors, which I think I'm gonna actually get anyway. All right, so let's see. This looks like okay, we'll put the box aside. I do like the way this box looks a lot. So let's see. MX Logitech. So it gives us some instructions right on here. Just what to do, to use for Mac or PC. And then, okay, yeah, easy switch depending on what it is that you're using, your phone or tablet, your Bluetooth. All right, so let's get to the main purpose here. So definitely has some weight to it, which I kind of like. I kind of wanted it not to be too lightweight. All right, so here's the Logitech MX keys. Yeah, boy, these keys feel great. My question or concern is, and it's not so much of a concern as it is just a curiosity. So I need this placed in my desktop PC in order for it to work. I have one just like this that looks identical to it for my Logitech MX mouse, and I am curious to see if I will be able to get away with not having to use another USB-C port to connect this to my computer. So we are going to find out about that right about now. So first thing I want to kind of do, let's actually look at this a little bit before we even connect it. So we have your USB-C on the back. We have a power button on the back there. This is illuminated, which I really, really, really like. I kind of want to start with with my iPad. Actually, we'll start with my desktop. We'll start with the desktop. So it says turn it on, which we did, and then it says depending on if we are connecting to Mac or PC, you either hit the function button and a P, or function button and some other button. What is that? A circle or a O? P or O? Okay. So we are doing a Windows computer, so I'm going to do function, which is here, and P. Oh, but it says hold for 3 seconds. So function and hold for P for 3 seconds. Okay. So I'm going to plug this thing into my desktop now, and right away it starts working. I want to connect this to the other device that I'm going to be frequently using for this. That wasn't worded correctly. I want to connect this to the other device that I'm going to be using frequently with this. There we go, Kevin. Which is my iPad. So I'm going to leave the iPad up, and I'm going to press and hold this button here to try to connect with the iPad, and then I'm going to launch this and go here and MX keys. And this in here, of course, is my settings on my iPad and Bluetooth. MX keys would like to pair with your iPad. Enter the code on your MX keys. 6923338. So 69233. Okay. So that's connected. And so now if I were to take my mouse and try to go to setting, what is it, setting 3, I think, for my iPad. Yep, there it is. And then if I go to like this and type in, yeah, so I can get with this. I can get with this. Okay, that's pretty cool. So now I want to, if I hit back to 1, it should not work on my iPad. Yep. And there's an issue that I actually have with my iPad. If anyone knows about this, definitely let me know. When I'm connected to a Bluetooth mouse with my iPad, and I don't have a keyboard connected, the on-screen keyboard does not show up. If I turn the mouse off, the on-screen keyboard would show up. So if you've seen that before, or you know what to do to fix it, I would actually appreciate you if you let me know in the comments. I just wanted to kind of do a little bit of an overview of what we can actually do with this keyboard. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the main functions of the keyboard with the iPad. So what I want to start with is just a typing experience. So hello, my name is Kevin, and I really like this new keyboard typing experience for my iPad. Got to do the capital P for my iPad Pro, right? So it feels great. Typing on this thing feels fantastic. And what we can do to switch between your 3 different units that you have this thing assigned to, or 3 different pieces of equipment, you can switch between 1, 2, and 3. So number 1 is synced up to my desktop. So if I were to hit this, it's going to control my desktop, and as you see right away, the iPad realized that I was no longer connected to a keyboard, so it brought up the on-screen keyboard. Let's see what happens when I hit 2 right away. It might detect it, as it did, and then it immediately lowers it. So that's pretty cool. Now, in terms of some of the functionality up top, I'm just going to go over some of these function keys right at the top that make this really a winner with regards to its integration with the iPad. So the first one I'm going to go over is F1 and F2. And F1 and F2 are going to change the brightness of the iPad. So now again, this might not seem like a big deal to be able to do this, but having the functionality to be able to make some changes without touching the screen, which some might say, why won't you want to touch the screen? It's an iPad, that's what it's for. There's sometimes for you iPad owners out there where it just is much more efficient to be able to use input devices besides screen gestures and things like that to be able to get some things done. So this is one example. I'm going to show you some other ones that for me are just quite incredible. So that's that. Now F3 is going to bring up some recently used apps, so I can kind of go quickly, toggle by continuing hitting F3, or I can use the directional pad. Now that's something that I noticed, that if I press it again, I'm kind of curious about this. Annotate. So this button seems actually to be a button that depends on where you're at. So if you're on the home screen and you press it, it brings this up. But if you're on YouTube, okay, it brings that up. What about the App Store? All right, it brings that up. But for some reason on Fourscore, my music annotation app, it brings something else up. Not quite sure what that's about. That seems kind of odd. But if I were to, what if I hit like L and it brings up set lists? And by odd, I mean interesting, not a bad thing, but I'm just kind of curious. What about like Gmail? Yeah, so most apps, it looks like it just brings up that bar where you can sift through the different ones. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. Now F4 brings us right back to the home screen. So if I'm here, then F4 brings us right back to the home screen. Very, very useful to be able to get back to the home screen with the touch of a button. F5, not quite sure what F5 does. Yep, I don't see anything that it's doing there, so not quite sure. I know F6 and F7 are going to change the brightness of the keys of the keyboard. So if I were to turn off the light for a second, you can see that the keys are illuminated and then fully off and then fully bright. I kind of feel like, let's see, the lowest brightness setting is enough even in the dark, because I can still see what's going on. So pretty cool. And look at that, it times out. And I think when you put your hands over it, it kind of recognizes it again and turns it back on. So pretty awesome functionality. I'm going to leave that off for now. Now this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So if I go into let's see, YouTube Music, and I play one of my songs. Yeah, of course we're going to play one of my songs, right? This is a demonstration. I make music. Why would I not play one of my songs? So let's put on, I don't know which one I want to hear. This is a good one. So what we have here is I have a song playing and a video of me playing. So let's maximize this. So that's me vibing out to a song that I made. Now, these buttons, I just jumped ahead a little bit, but these buttons change the volume. So I can increase and decrease the volume as needed. Pretty cool, right? And then you can mute by hitting F11. Turn it off, mute completely. So again, in order to mute, like, I don't even think the iPad has a mute button. I don't know, like, even up in this menu. Like, to pause this, I have to tap the screen and then tap that again, or I have to come up to this, menu up here and do things, up here. But to be able to do these, and then what I'm going to share right now is F8 through F10 track controls. I can pause my music, continue playing it. I can go to the next song. And while this is playing, if I were to minimize it, I guess I could have hit the F5 button to minimize. But if I'm on some other app, like I was just on Docs, which is right here. So if I'm on Docs, I can pause this right from Docs. Again, a huge deal to me to have that functionality. And then to jump ahead, turn the volume up. So yeah, you see what that's all about. That's pretty significant to me. Now, one thing that on the desktop, this is the calculator button. So this will launch the calculator right away. I need to see if there's a way to configure this to launch a specific app on the iPad, which I think would be quite incredible. And if not, if there's a way to at least, be able to launch the calculator for it. So pretty cool. Next button here is, I believe, the screenshot button. So look at that. It takes a screenshot straight away, and then you still need to tap that. And I do have the mouse here, which is also quite the incredible mouse. So I can go to done and save to photos, and I can be done with that. And then we have 2 more buttons. This, not quite sure what this one does, but this one I know turns the screen off, locks the device. And then you have this back, right? And I can pause. Yep, just from there. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. I love this keyboard. I think it was an incredible investment, and something that it's going to change the way that I use my iPad whenever I'm in the situation where I need to get a little bit more work done with it. And so I would recommend this to anyone. I have no complaints with the keyboard so far. I've used it, very similar functionality with the stuff up top on my Windows PC as well. And the fact that it's wireless and I can switch between devices easily is quite incredible. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something new. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, where I do a lot of tech reviews, and I have a weekly show, K-Al Experience, on personal development, on music production. And I also post a lot of my music on the channel as well. All right, so thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys next time.